Help me disrupt YouTube's algorithm by liking this video, commenting on this video, sharing this video, and subscribing to my channel. Thanks. I appreciate it. 8th grade, Unit 5, Lesson 7, Connecting Representations of Functions. Problem number 1. The equation and the tables represent two different functions. Use the equation b equals 4a minus 5 and the table to answer the questions. This table represents c as a function of a. A. When a is negative 3, is b or c greater? Let's start with the equation b equals 4a minus 5 and substitute a with negative 3. Now the equation reads b equals 4 times negative 3 minus 5. Since 4 times negative 3 is negative 12, the equation reads b equals negative 12 minus 5. And negative 12 minus 5 is negative 17. So in this case, b equals negative 17. The table shows us when a equals negative 3 that c is equal to negative 20. Since negative 17 is greater than negative 20, b is greater than c when the value for a is negative 3. B. When c is 21, what is the value of a? What is the value of b that goes with the value of a? Let's look at the table. In the table, when c is 21, a is 5. In this case, we can substitute the a with a 5. So the original equation reads b equals 4 times 5 minus 5. 4 times 5 is 20, and 20 minus 5 is 15. When c equals 21, a equals 5, and b equals 15. C. When a is 6, is b or c greater? Again, let's start with the original equation, b equals 4a minus 5, and substitute the a with a 6. The equation now reads b equals 4 times 6 minus 5. Since 4 times 6 is 24, the equation reads b equals 24 minus 5. And 24 minus 5 is 19. So in this case, b equals 19. Look at the table. The table doesn't show me the value of c if a is 6. Therefore, I can't compare b and c. D. For what values of a do we know that c is greater than b? Let's look at the table. When a is negative 3, b is negative 17, and negative 20 is not greater than negative 17. Let's look at when a is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. B's value would be negative 5, which is less than 7, c's value. So when a is 0, c is greater than b. Let's look at this next one. When a is 2. When a is 2, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 5 is 3. When a is 2, c is worth 3, and b is also worth 3. So in this case, they're equal, and c is not greater than b. Let's look at the next one. When a is 5, 4 times 5 is 20. 20 minus 5 is 15. When a is 5, b is 15, and c equals 21. Therefore, c is greater than b when a is 5. Let's look at the next one. Let's substitute the 10 for a, and we have 4 times 10, which is 40. 40 minus 5 is 35. When a is 10, b is 35, and c is 19. So c is not greater than b when a is 10. Let's look at the last one. Let's substitute a 12 for a. 4 times 12 is 48. 48 minus 5 is 43. When a is 12, b is 43, and c is 45. And 45 is greater than 43, so c is greater than b when a equals 12. 0, 5, and 12 are the values of a where c is greater than b. Problem number 2 from 8th grade, Unit 5, Lesson 2. Match each function rule with the value that could not be a possible input for that function. Function rule A, 3 divided by the input. 3 divided by 0 is undefined, and that could not be a possible input for that function. So 4, which is the value of 0, matches with A. B, add 4 to the input, then divide this value into 3. B kind of reminds me of A, when we had 3 divided by the input, and the input was 0. So that was 0 divided into 3. So if we were to take -4 and add 4, then we get 0. 3 divided by 0 is undefined, and therefore it could not be a possible input for that function. So 3, which is -4, is a match for function rule B. C, subtract 3 from the input, then divide this value into 1. Take a look at option number 1. Option number 1 has an input of 3, and 3 minus 3 is 0. 1 divided by 0 is undefined. So function rule C matches option number 1 with the input of 3. Problem number 3. Elena and Lynn are training for a race. Elena runs her mile at a constant speed of 7.5 miles per hour. Lynn's times are recorded every minute. A, who finished their mile first? 60 minutes divided by 7.5 miles equals 8 minutes. It takes Elena 8 minutes to complete 1 mile. Let's look at Lynn's chart. It takes Lynn 9 minutes to run 1 mile. It takes Elena 8 minutes to complete 1 mile, and it takes Lynn 9 minutes to complete 1 mile. Elena finishes her mile in less time. B, this is a graph of Lynn's progress. Draw a graph to represent Elena's mile on the same axes. I've decided to create a table on the left-hand side. We know that it takes Elena 8 minutes to run 1 mile. 8 divided by 8 equals 1 minute, and 1 mile divided by 8 equals 1/8 of a mile, or 0.125 miles. 1 minute times 2 equals 2 minutes. 1/8 of a mile times 2 equals 1/4 of a mile, or 0.125 times 2 equals 0.25 miles. As I continue to fill in this table, I'm adding 1 minute to the left-hand column, and I'm adding 1/8 of a mile to the right-hand column, or I'm adding 0.125 miles to the right-hand column. The left-hand column of this table corresponds with the x-axis of the graph, time in minutes. The right-hand column of the table corresponds with the y-axis of the graph, distance in miles. You can continue to complete this table on your own if you like. I went ahead and represented Elena's mile on this graph with red points. C, for these models, is distance a function of time? Is time a function of distance? Explain how you know. Given a time for each model, the distance for that time can be found, and given a distance for each model, the time for that distance can be found. Problem number 4 from 8th grade, Unit 4, Lesson 4. Find a value of x that makes the equation true. Explain your reasoning and check that your answer is correct. We can start by using the distributive property and multiplying the negative sign by -2x, making it a positive 2x, and by multiplying the negative sign times the positive 1, making it a -1. Now the equation reads 2x minus 1 equals 9 minus 14x. Let's add 14x to both sides. Now the equation reads 16x minus 1 equals 9. Let's add 1 to both sides. Now the equation reads 16x equals 10. Divide both sides by 16, and you have 1x, or x, equals 10 over 16. Which is equivalent to 0.625. X equals 625 thousandths. Next, we have to check to see if our answer is correct. And we can do that by substituting every x with 625 thousandths. 2 times 625 thousandths minus 1 equals 9 minus 14 times 625 thousandths. Now the equation reads 1 and 25 hundredths minus 1 equals 9 minus 8 and 75 hundredths, which is equal to 25 hundredths equals 25 hundredths. Since that's true, 25 hundredths does equal 25 hundredths, we know the answer is correct. Show me some love. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.